Al pastor is a king when it comes to tacos, let's be real. But without a vertical spit or trompo, it's next to impossible to get those signature thin, crispy shavings at home. However, the legendary Kenji Lopez-Alt has a recipe on Serious Eats that's pretty darn close. I've tried it, it's intensive, but it is definitely worth it. So today what I'm going to do is I'm going to combine Kenji's marinade with the viral doner kebab video that you've probably seen, and I'm hopefully going to get ourselves rolling into some taco heaven. So does the parchment roll method actually work for ground pork? Well, I'm going to do some testing and try to combine those two things, and then we will find out. On Make It Cozy, crispy pork, oh yeah. All right, my mice are in place, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to use my chili blends from last week, and I also appreciate the support. Everybody's been really awesome, so appreciate that once again. So let's go ahead and get rolling. In a mixing bowl, we're going to add 1 pound of ground pork. And then I'm going to add a hefty pour. This is probably about 2 tablespoons of the guajillo mixture, a couple tablespoons of the chili ancho mixture, and then I also want to add a little bit of chili puya, which deviates from the Kenji method, but I really enjoy it, so leave it out if you want to. I also have a teaspoon of Mexican oregano, 1 teaspoon of cumin, 1 tablespoon of achote paste, and this is going to be about 1/8 of a cup of white vinegar. And then to add a little more fat, I have some rendered pork fat. And make sure that you get every drop, don't you waste it. And then to this, I'm also going to add 2 teaspoons of salt, 2 teaspoons of sugar, and what's not pictured here are 4 garlic cloves, but make sure that you put in those garlic cloves. I just forgot to put it in the mix. Make sure that you debling and then use the best whisk that you have, which are those fingers. If you don't want to do that, you can use a spatula, but I really want to work the meat because we want the salt that's in there to really mix with the myoglobin that's in the pork so that you get it fairly sticky. We kind of want like a meatball type consistency, and for more about that, you can look at the Serious Eats article that Kenji Lopez-Alt put up. So that's kind of where I got the inspiration for the marinade as we talked about. So let's leave this to rest overnight. You can let this go for probably 4 hours since it's ground pork. Again, deviating from the Kenji recipe, we're trying to do this a little bit quicker, and so that's what's up. So with that, we're going to go ahead and preheat our oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. That is what the most common thing was for the doner kebab. So in order to get that rolling, I have a piece of parchment, and I'm just going to split this right in half. We're going to get 2 rolls out of 1 pound, and the recipe that I saw was a little over 2 pounds of ground meat, but I just wanted to test out the, proof to practice, so to speak. So I sprayed my spatula, that's a silicone spatula, with some cooking spray just to hopefully get it to, spread a little bit easier, but I found this kind of difficult, so using my hands once again, I figured that I could put some plastic wrap or cling film on top and just kind of spread it, but that was too slow for me, so I reached in for my handy-dandy French rolling pin, and this made way quicker work, and I highly recommend to have this like layer situation going. Parchment, meat, and plastic wrap. That way you can get like a consistent edge-to-edge roll of the pork. It's going to be fairly consistent throughout, and it just makes it go a heck of a lot quicker. And I just kind of work it kind of like dough, you just kind of work it in like a circle kind of pattern, and you can really get any big globs to just, coerce it into any corner that you need it to. And you can get pretty close to the edge as well, which is kind of nice. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this one up, and then I'll get you another perspective in real time for my second roll. And I'm just going to use the same cling film because why not? All right, once you start getting your roll on, like it's pretty easy to just, keep it going. Again, just make sure that you're, safety with sanitation and stuff like that. If you want to use gloves, by all means, go for it. For here, I just have the Pyrex with a cooling rack inside. So I set the first one up in there, and I want it to be lifted up off of the bottom because I don't want it to be swimming around in the juices. I don't want it to get soggy, right? So we're going to collect those juices and use them for the pineapple later. But here I'm just go ahead and making quick work of the second roll. And this one, like to flatten it out and just making sure there was even thickness throughout the whole roll. It took me way less than 5 minutes, I'm sure. It was way easier to use the rolling pin with this method, so I highly recommend it. And you heard the beep 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 earlier for my preheated oven. It was, again, 400 degrees. And we're just going to roll this guy up, stick it in with the other buddy, and then we're going to set him in there for 25 minutes. Now, what's cool is that Kenji says that you need to roast your pineapple at 400 degrees for 25 minutes anyway. So you can just use the same temperature throughout. You don't have to wait for it to preheat or come down in temperature. So while those are roasting away, I'm going to go ahead and get the pineapple prepped and get rid of that outer layer. And then I'm just going to go ahead and quarter it so that I can get rid of the inner core, because as Alton says, those are not good eats. So we're going to go ahead and discard those. Now I want these to be fairly consistent in shape and size, but I also want to score the pineapple so that like any of those juices can penetrate the inside as much as it can. But I don't want to go too deep into it, right? With this part, it's a little bit, you know, depending on what kind of pineapple you have, it could be a little bit slippery. So you might want to protect yourself a little bit as such. Exhibit A, right? This one's flopping around, and, you know, I did that for dramatic purposes. But there is one thing that you can try, and that is a little corn holder. So take your corn holder and just stab the pineapple, and then just, you know, thrust away with your knife. It'll help protect your fingers, and we want to make sure that the only thing giving the red color to the pineapple is the marinade and nothing else. You know what I'm talking about? So protect yourself, and you'll be good to go. Now, with the pork rolls ready to rock, right? We're going to let those rest for a little second, but we also want to collect those juices that I was talking about earlier. And so this is one of those, like, do as I say, not as I do situations, because I was very careless with the fact of how I collected those juices, and made this way harder than it needed to be. So just stick them on a cutting board, you know, preferably the one that you prepped or whatever. There's no need to burn yourself / drop your pork roll. So, all right, with that being said, let's go ahead and take our marinade and get some really good penetration with those drippings, right? We want to make sure we hit all sides, both edges, and just go ahead and let those go for 25 minutes in a 400-degree oven. And that's Fahrenheit, folks. Celsius? I don't know. I'm not there yet. I'm sorry. All right, so while the pineapples are going, we're going to go ahead and get ready to chop up our rolls here. So they've been resting for, I don't know, maybe all of 5 minutes. They don't need long because they're so thin, right? They don't need to redistribute their juices like a steak. So I'm just going to go ahead and unroll those. And while I'm doing so, right, I notice that there's a lot of juice, so to speak, left over. And we want to maximize our flavor, so I'm just going to kind of use my fingers as a squeegee just to make sure that we, you know, collect any and all stuff, all the juice.
We figure we's a little juice.
Yeah, we don't want to waste it, right? So make sure that, you know, up to you, but I'm going to try to get as much flavor out of this as I can. And so with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and take these to the knife, right? So we want to make sure that we have some really good strips so that we can put them under the broiler for later so they can get real nice and crispy. And I'm going to do this at maybe half an inch intervals, just enough to, you know, make sure that you got really good, well-defined strips. We don't want it to mince up, because otherwise, what was the point of, you know, marrying the two ideas, right? You could just use ground pork and just call it a day, which, not great, but, you know, I tried that. I tried to cheat back in the day and just doing ground pork, throwing it in and doing the Kenji method, not so much. So this one, we're kind of stepping it up a little bit, but I'll tell you, the flavor is real. It's there. It's super good, right? It reminds me of what Kenji had put together in his loaf pan method, and the kitchen smells awesome, obviously. There's an example of what the strips look like. And then we're going to do the slow motion glamour shot. Oh, yeah. Look at the pork rain, baby. That's what's up. It's really awesome. I wish I should put some background music. I don't know. Anyways, let's skip it. Let's focus here. We got to stay focused. With the pineapple. Yeah, the pineapple's been roasting away, so that's what's up. So we're going to let that cool off just until it's, you know, cold enough to handle at least. And go ahead and switch that oven from oven to broil. And I'm going to set it to high. And I'm just going to use that same sheet pan that the pineapple was on with the aluminum and everything. You know what I mean? Why not? I'm going to try to spread those out as evenly as possible so that I can get all those peaks and valleys and edges so they can get nice and crispy. And so I'm just going to pop these in there. And I'm going to do this on the second to highest shelf, just because I don't want them to be directly under the heat. So it kind of distributes a little bit more evenly. And then we'll check on them in a few minutes. Your oven will vary, I'm sure. So then with the pineapple nice and cool to the touch, I'm just going to give them a rough chop and just add them to a little stainless bowl here on the side to let them kind of chill out and mingle. You can see them steaming away. It looks great. It smells great, right? Yeah, pineapple action. If you have any juices left over, you can redistribute them into the meat. I decided to go with the pineapple just to let them soak up some of that extra flavor there. And if you need to adjust for seasoning, now's the time to do that as well. You don't want them to be like super salty, but you know, if there's some season adjusting, then by all means do so. And halfway during your cooking time under the broilers, go ahead and give them a flip to make sure that you get both sides as much as possible. And then give it another couple minutes, just make sure that you don't walk away. Definitely don't go to the bathroom, because that's the time when you go from crispy to burnt. So now let's go ahead and prep the taco. All right, so we got our corn tortilla. I prefer corn myself, but do you. Add a little bit of a layer of the crispy meats, some of the nice sweet pineapple, and if you have some extra, chili sauce laying about, like some people, go ahead and add a little extra layer, reinforce those flavors. And here we have it, right? So the al pastor taco. Let's give it a taste test. So let's see if it was worth the effort. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this. It's a good idea. Oh, my taco's falling apart. Oh, it's so juicy, which is a good thing. I mean, I did put salsa on it, so it's like, that's what's up. The cardinal rule of like taco eating is that like the taco doesn't come to you, you have to go to the taco. I don't know, man. I'm glad that I did the experiment, but is it worth the hype and my tortilla falling apart? We'll fix that in post. I don't know. I think the answer is no. Stick with the viral like doner kebab, if that's the case. All right, so my opinion, is it worth the hype? No. I would stick with the legendary Kenji method, right? Do it in a pie or in a loaf pan, and do it there. Is the flavor there? Absolutely, 100%. The flavor is there. The pineapple, basted, roasted, the meat, real good flavor. Where I get derailed is texturally. Like, if this is the doner kebab method, and like maybe it's because of the lack of yogurt, I don't know. But as far as like the other spices and stuff, I don't see how integral those would be in like keeping the texture together. This is also ground pork, so that could be a little bit of a curveball there. But um, I'm glad that I did the experiment. I don't regret it. And now like this is just my opinion. Like, you could do this yourself and be like, you know what? I don't know what Cozy's talking about, dude. I'm gonna try this myself. And I encourage you to do that. But you might love it. You might love it. And if that's the case, shoot me one of them comments down below. You know what I'm talking about? But like other than that, I think I'll just stick with the Kenji method. That's my opinion, and we'll catch you on the next one. Peace. Hey, I just wanted to say thanks for the support for my last video with the Mexican chili experiment that I did. Got a lot of good feedback. I got a lot of good support, and yeah, I just want to say I appreciate it. So we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.